And you have signed and dated those verdict forms indicating the jury's verdict. All right, thank you.
Ronald. Jack, doing something? Which one is your gun though?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, and the jury, I'm going to ask that you carefully listen to the verdicts as they are being read by the clerk, Mrs. Robertson. As after the verdicts have been read, you will be asked to give me your verdicts. And I would caution the audience during the course of the reading of these verdicts to remain calm, and that if there is any disruption during the reading of the verdicts, the bailiffs will have the obligation to remove any persons disrupting these proceedings. All right, Mrs. Robertson. All right, Mr. Simpson, would you please stand and face the jury? Mrs. Robertson.
Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles. In the matter of the people of the state of California versus Orenthal James Simpson, case number BA097211. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the Section 187A of felony upon Nicole Brown Simpson, a human being, as charged in count 1 of the information.
Hold on 1 second.
Superior Court of the State of California, County of Los Angeles, in the matter of the people of the State of California versus Orenthal James Simpson. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, find the defendant Orenthal James Simpson not guilty of the crime in violation of Penal Code Section 187A, a felony upon Ronald Goldman, a human being, as charged in count 2 of the information. We, the jury, in the above entitled action, further find a special circumstance that the defendant, Orenthal James Simpson, has in this case been convicted of at least one crime of murder of the first degree and one or more crimes of murder of the first or second degree to be not true. Signed this 2nd day of October 1995, Juror 230. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, is this your verdict? So say you one, so say you all.
All right, counsel, Mr. Simpson, would you be seated, please? Have it quiet in the courtroom, please. All right, Mrs. Robertson, would you please poll the jurors?
Juror number 1, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 2, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 3, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 4, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 5, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 6, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 7, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 8, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 9, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 10, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 11, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 12, as to count 1, is this your verdict? Juror number 1, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 2, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 3, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 4, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 5, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 6, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 7, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 8, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 9, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 10, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 11, as to count 2, is this your verdict? Juror number 12, as to count 2, is this your verdict?
All right, the clerk is directed to record the verdicts as read. Parties agree to waive reading of the verdicts as recorded. Mr. Cochran. Do you waive reading of the verdict as recorded? Ms. Clark. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to at this time take this opportunity to publicly thank you for the service that you've given to us. The burdens that we've placed upon you were enormous, and words can't begin to express the debt that we owe to you for the time, patience, and exertion that you've given to us over the course of this case. I will have an opportunity to meet with you privately later, and I'll give you my private comments so when we have a chance to meet. I want to caution you at this time that there is, as you know, intense media interest in this case. The news media will probably seek you out at your home or at your place of business. I would implore that the news media act responsibly to avoid harassing you or identifying you without your consent or otherwise causing you concern. If you wish to cooperate with the news media is, of course, entirely up to you. However, I must warn you to expect the worst as far as that is concerned. We want to, I know I share with you in expressing our thanks to the bailiffs, to the Sheriff's Department, to our court reporters, Ms. Foxham and Ms. Wilson, to the research attorney, John, our media liaison, Harriet Hazel from First Down, and of course the jury commissioner, Gloria Gomez from First Down. All right, counsel, is there anything we need to take up before we excuse the jurors, Mr. Chairman?
Well, you can see shaking and you can see that in another way, Mr. Simpson's family is profoundly moved in many ways. Nicole's Brown's sisters.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, the jury on
their children.
This case, as you know, this does absolve you from your vows of silence. You may take with you your juror notebooks as you have requested, and we'll be chatting with you shortly. All right, thank you very much, and I'll see you all later. All right.
Kathleen Bailey, Mr. Simpson, Johnny Cochran, Robert Shapiro to the left, Robert Kardashian, his friend and lawyer there, in tears, as was O.J. Simpson's oldest son, Jason. And as we said, is I think they'll go back to the Los Angeles County Jail and be processed.
All right,
out. And there is now an opportunity for members of the family, members of the press who've been there for all these many days to leave the courtroom and go about their business. For Marcia Clark, and others now, enormous, in legal terms, an enormous defeat, certainly an enormous victory for Johnny Cochran and Mr. Simpson's defense team. And it doesn't need much review from us that O.J. Simpson is acquitted of the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman. And we'll now try to talk to Ken Kashiwahara, who's on the steps. Ken?
Well, I just felt it was in a small
Ken, we're not able to hear you for a second, so when you get your microphone,
We need to turn the TV down.
what kind of reaction? You can see out there on the street itself.
Do you think they deliberated long enough?
I think after a year, they had the evidence. They had what they needed, and they probably knew maybe like a month ago what it was going to be.
Out of all the attorneys, who do you think was the most effective and who was the least effective?
It's not a fair question. That's not fair. I liked Cochran. I liked Bailey. I wasn't too fond of Darden or Marcia.
Okay, 1 second.
Hang on a second. Wait. Get the microphone over.
About 2 weeks ago, my wife wanted to make a bet with me about it, and I swore him down he's going to be innocent then because of the search warrant, all the lying by the LAPD going on, and you know, it just things didn't add up. And Marcia, she done her best, but I don't think she was qualified to handle that big a deal.
Do you think they deliberated long enough?
I think they did. I think they had their mind made up come last Saturday morning after they had the closing arguments. And Johnny Cochran and Barry Scheck done a marvelous job on it. You know, I don't think they just didn't prove their case. Not to me, they didn't.
Thank you very much.
Mason. I live in Garland, Texas.
Gene Kirkwood.
We don't know whether or not they based it on just a... Turn you just a little bit, I think.
Like,
Stay close to the table. We're all... Keep it light up. We're all...
Move up close to the table.
And the other went to West
Like-
End. We're going to have to hell
They should have come back to their food anyway. What did you think of the OJ verdict?
Yeah, we're going to have a book deal.
all this time I saw through the whole scene. I know that he's not guilty. I'm glad he won because that man, he didn't do it.
Do you think that the jury deliberated long enough?
They waited and waited with the evidence because the evidence they got is not true because they're not supposed to be. I know they didn't have the right to get on his property to get evidence.
Who do you think was the most effective attorney and who was the least effective?
The victim.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
My name is Rodney Keller. I live in Mesquite.
Just look at me. Were you surprised by the verdict?
No, I wasn't. Whenever they said they come back with a verdict yesterday, I was telling people at the store I was in that they had found him not guilty because they came back too quick. And every trial I've been around where they come back that quick, they usually found him not guilty.
Do you think they deliberated long enough?
No, not really. I think they should have looked at more of the evidence probably, but you know, that's the way juries are.
Who do you think out of all the attorneys was the most effective and who was the least effective?
I really didn't get to watch all of them, so I really can't answer that one. But I don't think that the prosecution did a good enough job. They kind of messed up from start to finish. Wallace Jones.
Tune in and watch.
What do you think of the OJ verdict?
Very happy about it. I was very moved.
Do you think that the jury deliberated long enough?
I think they knew in their heart what was the right decision, and after all the time that was spent, they really didn't need to deliberate a long time. Their minds were set. If they felt they needed to deliberate, they would have done so.
Who do you think was the most effective attorney in the case and who was the least effective?
To me, Johnny Cochran. I was really impressed by Johnny Cochran. I don't really have an opinion as to who was the least effective.
Thank you very much.
You're
What's your
welcome.
name?
Mark DeSanti.
Mark DeSanti. Thank you. You surprised by the verdict in the OJ trial and why?
Well, I was kind of surprised because there was considerable evidence I thought that was presented for conviction. It also proves a conviction that I've had for a long time is that money buys verdicts. I've seen that enough in Texas not to be too surprised to see that in California.
think the jury deliberated long enough?
Yeah, I really do. These people didn't have just 4 hours to think about it. They've been thinking about it for months. It'd be impossible not to have formed some kind of opinion sitting in a courtroom for several months, sequestered, supposedly with no time to think about anything else anyway. So I don't fault them for only sitting there for about 4 hours. I think I could have probably reached the same a conclusion within that time frame myself.
Do you think it was a fair verdict?
Well, I don't have all the information in front of me to assess that. I have been a juror before, and you will hear things in that courtroom that you wouldn't hear or see in the newspapers or on newscasts afterwards. So it would be impossible for me to say categorically yes or no to that question.
Out of all the attorneys that made presentations, who did you think was the most effective and who was the least effective?
Well, obviously the prosecution attorneys were the weaker of the group. Cochran must have been the most successful, but I didn't watch the trial on a day-to-day basis since I have real things to do in the daytime. But I'm presuming he must have been pretty effective.
He for least effective?
Well, the least effective would have to be within the prosecution team, but I don't know whether you'd say Marcia Clark or the other fellow. Darden is his name? Yeah, I don't know which of the two is the least effective, but obviously they didn't build enough of a case. Of course, Furman was the main problem in the whole thing. For the prosecution. I'm Pat Henley.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
What's your name, sir?
Bill Martin.
And Bill, what did you think about the OJ?
What verdict? Was there something going on I missed? It's only outcome could have been done.
Why do you say that?
There were just too many holes in the whole case. But I watched it quite a bit through it, but I think there was as much evidence to acquit as there was to convict, and without being that positive, that's the only outcome the jury could take.
Do you think they deliberated long enough?
Tells you they pretty well had their mind made up before they ever went in there, and but sitting in there that long, I don't think it'd take that long. And I think that's what everybody's saying. If they came back that quick, it was going to be acquittal anyway. So,
In your opinion, who was the most effective attorney and who was the least effective?
well, it's the first time in all the things I'd watched in that trial that I actually saw Marcia Clark speechless. So that I'd say, of all the attorneys least effective, I think she did more damage to their case than anything else. Johnny Cochran, I think, did an outstanding job as an attorney. I think the whole defense team did as far as that goes. You bet.
Thank you. Your first and last name, sir?
Potts.
I'm sorry, what?
Potts. P-O-T-T-S.
And your first name?
Andrew.
And Mr. Potts, what did you think about the OJ trial verdict?
Just like I like it. I really like the way it came out.
Do you think it was a fair verdict?
Yeah, I do.
Think the jury deliberated long enough?
I think they had their mind made up when they went in there. That's just my way of thinking.
And who do you think was the most effective attorney and who was the least effective?
Johnny Clark was more effective. Marcia Clark was the least.
Thank you very much. And your name, sir?
Bill Jones.
And Mr. Jones, what did you think about the verdict of the OJ trial? Was it a surprise to you?
No. I've been watching it from the time it got on TV till it was over, and I think it shouldn't have took no longer than a day to get a verdict.
You think it should have taken longer than a day?
No, I say it shouldn't have. You paid attention to whatever went on every day. You know, some days it was the same thing, 5 or 6 days at a time. You don't have to keep saying the same thing over and over to get a point over.
Who do you think was the most effective attorney and who was the least effective?
Well, I think Johnny was the most, and I guess Marcia was the least.